Hey folks, welcome back. It's the Big Barn Build and today we're back at the front. Finally, we're working on our cladding, which is going to be the front entrance and also on the south end as well. So stick around and I'll explain more. So we've got our supports going in, and what we decided to use is Z Purlins, very similar to what we used on the roof, but they are the perfect distance out so that our cladding will come down in line with our brick. We're actually going to put a little drip edge on, but that's going to come at a later point. So we're putting them on at certain heights. Our spacing here is about 1.3. We're using a thicker grade corrugated steel anyway, so that's absolutely fine. We've got one going in up above the oak there. We'll have another one halfway, and then what we're working on now is the angle that's going to sit just under the roof panels at the top. So that's what it's looking like. This side just butting up together. They're being bolted through to our structural stud wall, so we're using some 10mm coach screws. They're going through a pre-drilled hole all the way through the batten, through the sheathing board and into our studs. Doug versus dog. On it, just too late. I tried to put me on the AI robot. Yeah. Oh, I see you've got a pencil line on there. We've now got all of the other side done. We're just doing this side now. So that angle one, the reason why that angle is so low down is because that is basically the last point that we've got our timber frame. Above that we've got the primary portal frame steel, and then we've got steel purlins on top of that, so you can't fix through to anything. But that only leaves about 400 of sheet above it, and these are full length sheets, so there's absolutely no issue there. We don't need to worry about having support right at the top, and the barge is going to come around and stitch to that anyway, so that's all fine. We're going to set that point all the way up to the top. So you can see on this side over here, it kind of coincides with that top oak beam, but that's what we're going for. And we've then put in the second one, which is halfway between. So that should give us plenty of fixing points all the way. We just need to add something in above the oak, which we can probably do when we get to it. But access at the moment is obviously just a pain. It's a bit stupid because we've got a scissor lift, but it's been neglected and sat up over winter, dead as a dodo, out of test. So I've got someone coming tomorrow to service and put its test back on. However, I went to charge it. The charger doesn't want to charge it because the voltage is so low, and the 6-volt batteries, I don't have a 24-volt charger. I don't even know if you, well, yes, you can get one, but so I'm trying to charge each individual one at 6 volts. It's getting there, that one, but basically there's not enough charge in it for this main charger to kick in. So I'm hoping if we do a couple of hours on each, then that'll work, and then overnight it'll have enough charge that hopefully it can be serviced tomorrow. Then all being well, it'll be up and running, that we can use it to clad, because that'd be far more efficient than using the tower. Well, another day, another end of the barn, and we're in the sun this time, so we're going to get all of these up, I hope, today in preparation for the cladding. Someone's made a start while I was sorting out chickens, and same as yesterday really, just warmer.
can't really mark my side, but I'll let you do yours.
Yeah.
That's nice.
We're going to level or measure? Ain't no... That's fine.
I'll bring the tower back in.
But how did it stay there?
Set in the bottom my side.
Oh, there. Look at that, eh? That's pretty good, isn't it? Pretty good.
Yeah, that needs... The top just cut off it. Okay. And if I multi-saws around.
Yeah, I'll get it as well.
Like that. Yeah. Those kind of outriggers can come out to support the end.
Okay, all right.
Inside today, taking a break from cladding, and we are in the schoolroom here. It's like a study room, music room, and we've got ceiling up this morning. Let's show you how that went in. Now we're going to get this wall in. All the insulation and sound insulation we can do from the other side. So it's just an easy one to board up, and we're going to get onto the insulation, the reveals of the windows. We'll have to end the video with an unfortunate expense. Tried my best with the scissor lift, didn't work. Two of the batteries healthy. I charged those as a 12 volt and I could get them up and they would hold. The other ones barely even hold a volt. So I've just bit the bullet to buy 4 new batteries, which is stupidly expensive, especially because we're going to sell this soon. But I'm hoping that new batteries, fully serviced, I'll get my money back, I hope. These ones have got to come out. The new ones have got to go in. They're probably not as good, but they should be absolutely fine for now. So I'm hoping everything matches up, all these terminals. They said they would. So we'll just transplant. Well, if only all things were as straightforward as that. Not that we know if it works yet, but we're getting closer. So these two batteries down here are serviceable. Maybe I can flog them, maybe I can use them for electric fencing. Those two are goners. I think I've put everything back how it should be. I could check the voltage, but it's more fun to see if it actually works. Then we could potentially just drive it over there to charge it. But that'd be too easy. Oh, got beeping. Ah, yes. That's what happened last time, I remember. It goes up but it doesn't come down. We had to use the manual override. Okay. Basically a key at the bottom which dictates whether you operate it from down here or from up on the control panel. The only problem is the control panel has been subject to weather. And it's turning. Look at the back. We're moving. It's in slow mode. Look at that! Only cost £500. And I've still got to pay for the test. Although I did get this for a bargain. Amazing how many faults can just come from low voltage. It's like a Land Rover, so I should be used to it. Like new. It doesn't go down though. Oh, yeah. You remember how to do it? Please let me down.
Yeah.
Well, we can put in the framework easily above the oak as well.
Oh, it's so much easier, isn't it?
Yeah, the roof's still on. That's okay. Yeah, it feels so much safer as well. Right, let's see if it will. That's a negative. I'm glad you're here, that'd be really awkward. From a distance, everything looks fine. Manoeuvring and everything up, fine. Just the down, so that's why Tom's releasing. There's a manual release on the back, so hopefully when they come back in the morning they can check everything over, sign it off, and we're all good, ready for cladding. Well, that's one thing sorted, which is not a bad start for a Monday. We also finished this room on Thursday when I had Alan up, so that's when Alan and my dad came up like the Chuckle Brothers. We muddled through it and we got it all done, and it's looking smart in here. So this is quite a sensible sized room. A little bit to do on the window reveals, which I'm going to get done with the tile backer boards over on that one, and there's a little bit to finish above this window. But other than that, it's just a little bit of finishing, taping, check all the screws, and then ready for skimming. Now you might have seen in the back of that video that some of our ducting is now in place. That we've been working away on in the background. We've got the video series coming on that, which we're partnering with the company on. So once those are all approved and signed off, then we'll be sharing that whole install with you. And it's a good one because it's something there's not a lot of information on YouTube about, and sharing the way that we've had to do it is also a different option from doing lots of flexible ducting. This is kind of a better option if you can get it in. Anyway, more on that in the future, but that's why these are all in, strapped down, the ducts. We have decided here not to have a doorway. We're going to leave it open all the way through. We might do a full height sliding door of some sort if we need to, but in reality we think it's okay. What that does is it means that that full height glass facing south is able to bring in a lot more light than if we shrunk that down to a doorway. So if I come back a bit, you can tell it's a bit gloomy in here, because until the afternoon there's less natural light in here, which is why we've done the big back door with the curved wall to flood a bit of light through there. But I think that's the right option, because when you look down, you can see how much of an opening there is left, and by the time it's all painted and it's all white and bright, it's going to just bounce a bit more light through this way. So I think that's a good option, but let me know what you think. The desks are going to be over on that side, and I just feel like keeping it open is quite a nice option. We haven't really done any follow-ups because everything just sat stagnant once it was skimmed, but everything's dry in here now. And we're pretty pleased with the finish. I'm not going to plough on ahead with the same plasterer until I've at least miscoated these and got a feel for how the finish looks, because it's quite hard to tell when it's just bare plaster. But I think on the whole, it's pretty good. There's a little bit that I could have probably just picked up on at the time, but around the reveals, which is going to need a bit of easy fill or something to bring out. So on the whole, we're kind of 95% happy with that. And without wanting to be really fussy, we do want it to be a high level of finish, but also get our money's worth, because plastering is not cheap. And while we are pretty certain that we want to go with a skimmed finish throughout the whole building, it's still one of the biggest interior expenses we've got, just based on the sheer amount of surface area, I guess. So we do want the finish to be good. and I think on the whole it's pretty good. Better than I do anyway, for certain. Now we'll finish up down here on the south end. We're going to finish up that end with the purlins now. We have run out. We've got 2 left of this width, but we've got more of the slightly deeper 140mm purlins the other end. We've realised that we shrink the battens, which we haven't actually put all the battens on that end yet. So we ripped down some 5 or 6mm ply. I say we, Tom did that. So we've basically got some mini batten packers. That's just going to bring it off level, so the plane of the front of the purlins is the same all the way through. Now that we can hang all this cladding, knowing that we can finish where we want to on the windows, and then measure up for the trim, because the trims are going to be sort of L barge trims almost, which will lap over by about 40mm, hoping the corrugations fall in the right place. So stitch onto the front of that, and then they'll fix to the batten at the back. We're actually coming out 1 batten on the reveals to make sure that tape's covered, so it'll be probably halving the width of the window frame that you see, and then that should finish off neatly. So all being well, cladding first, then we'll measure up for trims. We do have the drip trims which sit above the windows, but we haven't done that for the sides yet, just because we need to make sure how they tie in with all the window sills. So we're hoping that those powder coated fixings are going to be made up and ready to collect today. Joe's going to pick those up, so all being well, scissor lift will get tested 8 AM tomorrow. Fixings will be all here ready and waiting, and we can set up a cutting station, start cladding the other end. But that'll definitely be for next time. We'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Remember, if you can, do it yourself. See you next time.